Who are some players you should be looking to sell high in Dynasty right now? Chris, talk to me about a player that you're looking to trade away.
Well, if I had him, I would be looking to trade away Derrick Henry. I know it's tough to get rid of Derrick Henry, but you got to play the percentages. Entering his age 27 season, he's amassed 2 straight seasons of over 300 carries, and we know historically running backs who do that, who rack up those 300-yard carry seasons, they tend to break down around that age 27, age 28 season. Sure, he could have another elite year in him, maybe even 2 more elite years in him, but why take the chance that he breaks down while he's still on your team? You could get, potentially a young wide receiver 1, or maybe even a young running back who hasn't quite broken out yet, paired with a good wide receiver 2. You could get some great value for Derrick Henry right now. I think now is the time to sell if you have Derrick Henry.
Look, I get if you're in a win now mode and you really think you have a shot, you're a contender, maybe you're defending a title thanks to Derrick Henry, okay, fine, you hold him. But you have to always be thinking long term. And 3 years from now, who would you rather have? Derrick Henry, be holding on to him, or one of those, high-end wide receivers like you talked about? All right, so along those same lines of thinking, I know a lot of people love James Robinson of the Jaguars because, went from nothing to something. The leading rusher for the Jaguars, the only running back who really did anything for the Jaguars, one of the top 5 in the NFL in carries at the running back position, averaging 4.6 yards per carry. So Robinson is a guy that it seems like can do it all and is one of the focal points of the offense. That's not going to happen anymore. They had to run the ball because they basically didn't have a quarterback. This is a team, look, Urban Meyer took that job because he knew he was going to get future franchise quarterback Trevor Lawrence. This team will be now a pass-first team, and even if Robinson is the starter, they're going to bring in competition. There's already been rumors they're linked to guys on the free agent market like Kenyon Drake and James Conner. Look, they're not going to maybe take the starting job away from him, but it's going to be more of a timeshare. Robinson will not be the entire run game and most of the offense there. So this is the peak of his value right now. You have to capitalize before they sign anybody.
Man, I wish you didn't pick James Robinson. He's like probably one of the toughest players for me as we enter into 2021. Because on the one hand, if the Jaguars don't do anything, he's locked into that workhorse role. But I do think they are going to do something, whether it's draft a running back or sign a running back. So I'm with you. I think his role will be diminished. And then another guy I think you need to be looking to trade right now is TJ Hawkinson, who just had a breakout second year with over 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. And you're thinking, hey, I got a young tight end. He can be my tight end of the future. But that was all with Matthew Stafford. Now they have Jared Goff. This is a team that's going to want to run the ball. This is a team that wants to play a different type of game. This isn't going to be a vertical passing team. I just don't see TJ Hawkinson really ever having a season like that again. I think we saw last year was truly the best we're ever going to see of TJ Hawkinson. And I don't really believe that TJ Hawkinson is an elite talent. I don't think he's like a Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle type of talent. I just don't think he is. So I really think what we saw in 2020 was the best we're going to see from TJ Hawkinson, but you could probably go out and sell him right now because he's being viewed as a top 4 or 5 dynasty tight end. So I'd be looking to sell TJ Hawkinson before 2021 starts.
He's never going to be a Kittle or a Kelce. But especially now, like you said, going from Stafford to Goff, that doesn't help. I'd rather have a guy like Noah Fant, who is a little bit more, athletic, pure receiver than Hawkinson. I'm going to go with another tight end here. Obviously, his value not as high as Hawkinson, but Logan Thomas coming off an impressive season. And look, I get it. It's a nice story. The converted quarterback, the guy who's kind of bounced around from team to team and really did have a nice 2020. But I think that's where it ends because, look, let's just take the context here into account for Washington. You had a team that had Terry McLaurin and not much else at wide receiver. So that's where a tight end gets a lot of his work, is because there aren't a lot of receivers to throw to. Also, they had Alex Smith, no longer now with Washington. And he loves him some tight end targeting, but not going to be the quarterback. They're going to get somebody else, whether free agency or the draft. So tight end isn't going to be a primary focus in that passing offense. Thomas is going to be 30 years old by the time the season starts. And they have nothing invested in him financially. He's not signed to this big long-term contract. There's really good chance that after this season, we really don't hear much from Logan Thomas again. So this is the time to sell him. Even if the return isn't great, it's better than nothing. So I say sell now while you can.
Yep, I agree. I don't understand the Logan Thomas love. I mean, how often have we seen a journeyman tight end break out in his age 30 season? I'm going to go with never. Maybe it's happened before, but I can't think of one. And yeah, the situation last year was perfect for him. And even then, it wasn't like he put up a monster year. I just don't understand, what we're really expecting from Logan Thomas going forward. And then my final Dynasty sell high is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Going into last year, nobody would have thought was a sell high, but after throwing for over 4,300 yards, 48 touchdowns, and winning the MVP, a lot of people think he's back. They think that Jordan Love draft pick lit the fire back under him, and we're seeing the Aaron Rodgers of old. And while we did see the Aaron Rodgers of old last year, you got to remember, he's going to be 38 years old in December. Even if he has let's say he gives you one more elite year, then what? You're stuck with an old quarterback that nobody's going to want. And if you look at the 2 years prior to last year, he wasn't really that good. So was it just one of those years where everything clicked? Or is he going to regress back to the Aaron Rodgers who wasn't that good? I think you could go out and sell him right now, especially if you're in a super flex league. And if you're in a super flex league, I bet you could sell Aaron Rodgers for a first round pick. No problem right now, and replace him with one of these young incoming quarterbacks, which I would do in a heartbeat. So if I had Aaron Rodgers, I'd just be saying thank you for last season, but it's time to say goodbye.
Like you said, last year, Aaron Rodgers, we saw his value swing so dramatically. People were basically giving up on him once they drafted Love, say, okay, that's it. He's got one more year, then they're going to move on from him, or he's going to be done, whatever. And now all of a sudden he's a top 10 dynasty quarterback again, but he's probably not going to be again after this year. So tough as it is to part with a guy like him, yeah, if in, like you said, a super flex league, if you can get a first round pick, you do it in a heartbeat. And my last pick here, a guy that, again, had zero value before last season because he wasn't in the league, and Antonio Brown is back. He did come back. Where's he going to play in 2021? We still don't know. Maybe in Tampa Bay again. Well, look, let's talk about what the best case scenario is for him. If he stays in Tampa, he's got Tom Brady, who obviously the GOAT, and somebody who has trust in him. But what's the best case scenario there? He's the third receiver on that team. They're not going to get rid of Godwin. They're going to prioritize Godwin over signing him. Brown would have to take a discount just to stay there. And we saw what happened. Look, in Tampa Bay, other than week 17, which doesn't count for 90% of fantasy football leagues, and really shouldn't count because it was against an Atlanta team that already folded it in. If you take away that last game of the season that meant nothing, he averaged 4.9 receptions and 49.3 yards per game with 2 touchdowns in 7 games. Is that worth starting on a fantasy team? What if he goes somewhere else? Is he going to go to a team that's going to really make him the top target? Probably not. And is he going to have a quarterback as good as he had? No. Who knows? He could one day just say, I'm done with football again, pack it in, get in trouble. Who knows? There's way too many red flags here. I say if you can get him second round pick, anything for him, just do it and be glad you got something in return.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario if you have Antonio Brown is that you wait until he either re-signs with the Buccaneers or signs with another team and everybody gets really excited about him for a few days, and then you go sell him, because I agree with you. I think his best days are behind him, and I think what we saw last year was best case scenario for him as well going forward.
There you go. Talk about our Dynasty sells for the offseason. Don't forget to check out our other episode on Dynasty buys. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button. We appreciate it.